Alright, guess who? Me again. Headed to check out my boy, Ken. He called me up, he says, I know, we just had a hurricane, the roads are probably washed out, and all that other shit. But guess what? I'm tattooing a freaking avatar. Get your ass over here. Like I said, hopefully we'll get there in time. We'll catch some good ink. He's doing the piece on a girl named Renee, and from what I hear, he's doing it on her foot. Want to capture stuff like this, you might have to actually put a little mileage on your car. So Ken's a pretty killer artist. I got to admit that. Don't tell him I said that, because it'll go to his head, and I've seen his head. Whatever, you know what I'm saying.
For longer lasting tattoo stencils, I like to use stencil stuff. So we're just prepping some skin surface, getting ready to put this stencil on. Yeah. See why I like that stencil stuff? That stencil stuff puts it right on there. Now, as long as I don't smear it around too much before we get to tattooing it, that should stay on there for the whole time. I have no idea. We're just gonna mix them and match them and see how we can make them work. So far, I've already poured some Prism, some Fantasia, some Platinum is getting ready to go into the mix. I got some N10s, so we're just pouring them in there and seeing what we can do with it. I did notice that I do kind of like the Platinum inks. A couple of blues that I've used from them go in pretty good. Sometimes blue is a difficult color to work in, and it has allowed me to work them pretty easily and make it stay pretty well too. So definitely going to use some. Got to have my N10 Snow White Opaque. Even when I'm mixing, they make a mixing white. Somehow I just like the opaque a little better. Alrighty, so once again, you guys are catching me doing a piece that was meant for somebody else initially that copped out on me. And then this time, Renee has come to save the day on this and still let me be able to get it in, because it was a piece that I was looking to really do. Once you get kind of spoiled on halogen, it's hard to go back to anything else. Because you can see every ridiculous little minute detail while you're tattooing. For me, that's one of the most important things in tattooing, is being able to see what the hell I'm working on. So as is typical of me, I'm starting out with my 7 mag single stack. This one isn't the long taper because I'm working in color. And I try to be able to pack a little denser group of dots. And the long taper tends to make the dots quite a bit smaller at the point of penetration, so I don't get, you know, quite the same amount of density with the color that I would get on a black and gray piece where I'm using the long tapers. Usually I wait till last to start playing with the hair and kind of, you know, use the little bit of shape to the face to kind of give me an idea where to put the hair. A little different right now since I'm working it in color. I'm gonna put in some of the hair to frame out some of the sections that I'm doing the blue in. It'll let me know how dark I need to make the blue in some of these sections. We got a nice little start anyway on it. Well, that should be good enough for the first break right there, I believe.
Now it's all
Because yeah, all the basics are in there, so now we don't have to worry about it as much. It's a matter of going in, smoothing it out, throwing the hair in, some background, getting details and stuff. But all the basics are there. All your stripes is there, all your contours are generally there. Now we just gotta polish it up for you. All right, I think I'm gonna go in, we're gonna work on some of this hair. That way I'll know kind of what to do inside the face as far as the rest of the contours and the shading. And we'll see what we got here. A lot of people wait for somebody to back out on a piece that I wanted to do, and then I'll throw it out there on special, and they be like, yeah, I'll take it. Glad my back is feeling better, because, man, last couple days.
You've been bent over a lot, huh? I didn't mean it like that.
Okay, we're gonna bring it this way because that's the basics on that side of the braids. Now we got to come down this side. Yeah, I'm just going in and kind of outlining the edge of these beads in the hair just because I don't want to lose too much stencil on it. Not a real tough, harsh outline, but just enough to keep them in place so I can work on some other stuff and get back to this a little later. We're about 15 minutes away from 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing about a foot piece, like it looks like it's a big tattoo because it's covering a whole area, but a foot is a relatively small location on the body, so it just makes it look bigger than what it really is. The same tattoo on an arm or something is just a regular little miniature arm piece. Yeah, the part that sometimes gets tedious about a piece that you really want to be graphic with is that it's about layering. You don't just go over it once, you don't just go over it twice. She's about 10 minutes out from the next break, so I'm sure she's getting a little anxious at this point. Plus, we've been on this for a couple hours. You ain't even all that puffy yet. Once you start getting into like stuff that's not covering large areas, little details here, little details there, for some reason you end up wiping it down quite a bit more. Will's olive looks exactly like what I need. Well, I'll be. That's about as close I think I'm gonna get to him. Will's olive from Intends. So we actually got couple different brands, the Intends light green, Intends whatever that was, Will's olive, and Squishy Squash from Platinum Ink from Cam Supply. As usual, when I'm working with some colors that kind of transition through each other, I don't necessarily use just one color at a time. I might dip a little bit into one color, a little in the other, so that the sections between where one color touches the next aren't quite as distinct and they kind of blend into each other. The initial person that was getting this was getting it in an area that was going to potentially be built upon later. Yeah, so occasionally when I'm doing eyelashes, I will cheat with the liner. I like to put a background on most things. I'm not so fond of tattoos that look like stickers where they're just put on there and they're flat. They don't really blend into the surface that they start on. Even if it's just a little glow or a little haze or something behind it, I usually like them to have something to kind of pull it into the skin. It also helps if you ever plan to add anything to it later. You have something to work off of, even if a different artist goes on it or whatever, and they can just try to match up the blend out color as close as possible, give it a little overlap, and then they can move on to the next piece. Had to have braids, didn't she?
Tell me about it.
Let's give you another shot of this right here, because now we're gonna go in with the yeah, because she bitching, so we had to give her a little Bactine foamage, and I'm gonna grab me some nuclear. Put these glow-in-the-dark freckles on this thing. Though truthfully, I don't think she's really gonna notice it unless she's at a club with a black light in it, or she goes and buys a black light specifically for the purpose of seeing it. All right, let's just see if this actually worked. Yeah, because I put it over top of the other ink, so if you just set your foot right there. Could you turn that light off?
Can't wait for Halloween.